Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really interesting proposal coming out of North Carolina for a school that, well, doesn't have any walls. It's called VALA NC, and it's a plan for a statewide virtual charter school that wants to completely rethink public education. So, let's break down what's really going on here.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the why. Why create this new kind of school in the first place? Then we'll get to know VALA NC itself. After that, we'll dig into how learning actually works there, their plans for growing, and then we'll wrap it all up by asking that big question. Is this what the future of school looks like? All right, so Section 1, a new kind of school. Let's start with the big why. The idea behind VALA NC really comes from a simple observation. Our world has changed. A lot. But for the most part, the traditional classroom, it kind of hasn't. And that leads to this huge question. Just think about it for a second. What if a student living in a tiny rural town had access to the exact same top-tier coding class as a student in a big city like Charlotte? What if your zip code just didn't matter anymore when it came to the quality of your education? That's the barrier they're trying to smash through.
So, how is North Carolina trying to answer that question? Well, that's where VALA NC comes into the picture. Let's take a closer look at what this proposed solution is all about. So, what is VALA NC? The name, as you can see, is a mouthful. Virtual Active Learning Academy of North Carolina. But what it boils down to is a proposed online public charter school. Now, the two most important words you need to hear are tuition-free and statewide. That means any student anywhere in North Carolina could potentially attend without their family paying a dime.
And their motto really says it all. Learn anywhere, succeed everywhere. It's such a simple but powerful concept, right? The idea is that if you remove the physical walls and geographical limits on learning, you open up a whole new world of possibilities for every single student, no matter where they start. But this isn't just about sticking classes online and calling it a day. Their mission is built on a very specific recipe with 3 key ingredients: using AI to make learning personal, focusing heavily on STEAM, that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and weaving character development into the very fabric of the school.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty ambitious. But what does it actually look like in practice? How does the learning actually happen? That brings us to what they call the VALA Learning Blueprint.
The entire school's approach really stands on these 4 pillars. It kicks off with that STEAM focus, which is all about getting kids ready for the modern world. That's paired with a real, intentional focus on character. The how is the AI-enhanced learning, which makes the whole experience unique to each student. And the glue holding it all together? Strong partnerships with families, because they see education as a team sport.
And when they talk about intentional character development, they aren't being vague. They're zeroing in on 4 core virtues: responsibility, integrity, perseverance, and respect. And you can see why, right? Especially in an online setting, things like responsibility and perseverance are absolutely crucial for a student to succeed. The plan is to build these lessons right into the curriculum.
So at the end of the day, it's not an either-or situation. It's not academics or character. The whole point is to develop the whole person, so that students leave not just as smart, capable people, but as good, ethical citizens too. Okay, so that's the philosophy. Now let's get down to the brass tacks. How are they actually going to roll this out? This next part is all about their plan for growth, how they'll provide access, and their vision for building a community.
Now, they're not trying to do everything at once, which is probably smart. It's a phased rollout. So if they get the green light from the state, the plan is to open in the fall of 2028, starting with kindergarten through 5th grade. From there, they'll just add 1 grade each year, growing steadily and thoughtfully until they cover the whole K-12 journey. This right here really gets to the heart of the problem they're trying to solve. You see the traditional barriers on the left, where you live, the quality of local instruction. On the right, you see VALA NC's proposed solution, statewide access to a consistent, high-quality curriculum. It's all about making sure every kid has an equal shot, no matter their zip code. And here's maybe the biggest challenge of all, and honestly, one of their most ambitious goals. How do you build a real community when nobody's in the same building? The vision is to create one single, unified school culture that connects students from the mountains all the way to the coast. All right, let's zoom out for our final section here. When you put all of this together, the tech, the mission, the statewide access, you have to wonder, is this just another school, or is it trying to be a whole lot more?
Their official vision statement is pretty telling. It's not just about education for today, it's about setting kids up for a very different future. The key phrase for me is learn with purpose. It suggests the goal isn't just about memorizing facts, but about giving students the tools and the motivation they need to succeed in our hyper-connected world.
You see what they're doing here, right? The goal isn't just to be another option on the list of schools. The ambition is to create a benchmark, a gold standard, for what virtual education can and should be when it's done with real intention and focus.
And that's really the million-dollar question we're left with. It's a compelling vision, for sure, but is this the blueprint for where public education is heading? That is something that parents, teachers, and students all across North Carolina are going to be watching very, very closely. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.